Okay.
Welcome back. It's been forever.
It's been a minute.
We've
been a minute for us.
Around.
There we go. All right, guys. Welcome to a quick update for the Ramblin Fly Podcast. So Brent and I have been MIA for a minute for a lot of different reasons, and we wanted to update you on what was going on. So, number one, for Ramblin Fly, Brent and I have both been to Colorado and Alabama to do some shoots for you guys. So we did a trout trip in Colorado, and then we did a bass trip in Alabama. So we're super excited about getting that content out, getting it to you guys, and we are currently working through it. But in the meantime, Brent, what have you personally been up to?
Well, I did order a new computer, and it finally arrived. So this will be the first edit on the new computer. So that is probably the biggest reason. We'll call it half the reason why we've been MIA, because my old computer wasn't working. But now we don't have that as an excuse anymore, so we actually have to, just stay up on things and do the work. But after you came out to Colorado, we fished for a while. I went to Alabama with you. We fished for a while. We've got a ton of good content from that. But I have been fighting runoff here in Colorado. So been out on my mountain bike, been out on my dirt bike, still working. I do have a job. And that's about it for me as far as an update goes. Yeah, right.
Still, they haven't fired you yet?
Job.
Good for you.
I'll take that. Yeah.
So the other half of the reason I've been MIA, of course, we are super excited to share this Colorado and Alabama content with you. I think it's going to be really cool. We really hope you guys are going to like this format. We really want to start doing these as like special edition episodes. And we really, really think you're gonna like the layout of this. But I have been doing a bunch of saltwater fishing. I've been running away. I've been getting away from the runoff out west. I was down in the Caribbean doing a bonefish trip, and I was also in the Gulf Coast doing a redfish trip. So
didn't you touch
that's what I've been doing.
6 states redfishing? How many?
Yeah.
Is that proprietary?
We went from Texas all the way to Florida, redfishing the whole way. And nice. It was awesome. But Blue Line, we've kind of talked about it. Blue Line's R&D'ing. Well, we kind of have already R&D'd it. We were now having fun using our redfish patterns. So stay tuned for them. We were getting some media and content for our redfish stuff for you guys. So anyways, sweet. But on to our update with Ramblin Fly. We do apologize for you guys. We've been out of the loop, but we are coming up on what we're going to be dropping as episode 10, and we're going to be doing a pretty big rebranding with episode 10. So one of the things that we kind of been talking about a little bit is we really felt like episode 1 through 9, and thanks so much for any of you guys who kind of stuck with those. I know they could be a little random at times. They were a little, we tried a lot of different techniques out in there. And it was kind of a proof of concept for Brent and I to run through those first 9 episodes. We wanted to kind of gauge what you guys liked, what, maybe what hit home, what didn't, some of your preferences on the different, styles, some of the different topics we covered. And we've definitely been kind of taking notes on what was popular, what wasn't, and or maybe what didn't fly over as good as some of the other content. So, Brent, you want to kind of tell us a little bit about the rebranding and what we're going to be doing from now on?
Yeah. So thanks again for those of you that did watch all of the episodes beforehand. It gave us a kind of a baseline idea of what kind of content you guys are interested in. And it let me learn how to edit a little bit. And I feel like I'm getting a little more of an idea on how to make the podcasts a bit quicker so that there's not as much time in between words where you're just sitting there waiting for us to figure out what we're going to say. So working on making the cuts a little bit quicker, keep the podcast moving along quicker. And then we're also going to be adding a bit of video content that we've shot on the water to support what we're talking about when we can. Obviously, that's not going to happen every single time, but that's the goal. Keep it a little more interesting than just hearing us talk. And the thing I'm kind of excited about is we'll be introducing segments that will be named. We've kind of got a few ideas floating around. One example would be the weekly runoff, where we just ramble off into the weeds about what we've been doing. So we're going to call that the weekly runoff, but there's other categories If we have a guide on, we'd like to hear some of their client stories. So maybe you guys have other ideas on segments you'd want to hear. If you do have ideas, drop them in the comments below. I think that's what I've got. Adam, what did I miss?
I mean, I think one of the overall things that you guys really liked, and we didn't 100% know who was going to be listening to this podcast when we decided to start it. So we didn't know how in depth to go over some of these topics. Like, did you guys kind of want something a little more high level, or did you want us to kind of go off down into the weeds and really kind of get to the nitty gritty stuff? And from what we kind of saw, you guys like the nitty gritty stuff. You really want like maybe a specific episode of us deep diving off into the weeds on one specific thing, whether it be a boat or a rod, a fly line, something like that. Those seem to be some of the best things that we ended up putting out over the past 9 episodes. So we're going to try to focus more on getting into depth on a specific topic instead of being just more entry level, high level. So hopefully you guys that are new to the sport will be able to, I feel like the best way to do it is just like going into a foreign country, the quickest way to learn a language. Hopefully you guys can learn a lot from the new podcast layout where you guys are, if you're new, if you're more mid-level, hopefully there's some stuff that you can really relate to. And then hopefully there's some stuff that you can gain on. And then if are a little bit better, a little more, I don't know, pro level, whatever you want to call yourselves.
Yeah.
You've been around. Hopefully there's some stuff that's a little more fun and relatable. So that's kind of the deal. But we did want to share with you guys also what we got kind of also coming up as far as stuff we haven't shot. And we're planning to do a shop tour in both Colorado and Utah, where we actually kind of go into some shops, have some talks with different folks in person instead of doing it over the webcam stuff. We would love to meet up with some people in Colorado, Utah. If you're watching this from one of those states, holler at us. Please hit us up on DM or on Instagram in the DMs. Oh, and we forgot to mention, we're starting to post all of these videos on its own YouTube channel. So Ramblin Fly on YouTube will have its own channel. They're not going to be hosted under the Fly or the BlueLineCo channel anymore. So make sure you check that out. We'll have the links in here to subscribe to that stuff. And any of you guys that are listening, if you have any ideas for what we should be doing, topics or questions, we would love to hear about them.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some creative segment names, like
viewer questions answered. Names. There's got to be a really good thing that we could call like when we answer viewer questions.
Yeah, like a fly fishing themed viewer questions segment.
The squirmy worm and pinned eggs segment.
The box of beads segment.
No, all right, welcome to Brent's
Bead Box. We'll try and make them creative. Brent's Bead Box. There we go. Yeah, we'll do some more of these sessions and figure out some good segment names. But in the meantime, if you want to give us a follow or a subscribe on the Ramblin Fly YouTube channel, it's its own channel now. And if you wouldn't mind also going over to Instagram, give us a follow there. We'll start posting up some reels as we go through these edits to show you guys what we're working on. And thanks again for tuning in. I'm excited for the change in the channel, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. We'll find out here in pretty shortly when we get this next episode turned around.
Pretty soon. Well, guys, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. Hope to hear from all of you listening pretty soon. Remember, I'm Adam, and don't call me with questions about your check nymphs. I heard a good thing the other day that check nymphs. For the record, I don't check nymph. I actually did hear a really good thing about check nymphs the other day, where you're just kind of bouncing it like this, where you're just checking. You're just checking if the fish is right there.
Yeah, is he there?
Oh, here's the check.
Oh, yep, he's right there. Check.
Oh, here he is. Here he is.
Fish.
That's why they called it that. So if you guys were wondering.
Yeah.